back. Welcome back. Happy Wednesday. We've made it.
I definitely got to get a pew button.
I'm surprised you don't have it already.
I forget. It happens.
I feel like that's the first program that should have been installed on your new little board over there. So welcome back, QSC Play Out Loud. My name's Dylan Weisman, along with DJ Nate Nelson, JSG, and a very special guest, Jaymie Perez from the Explosive Office. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. We have an awesome show for you planned today. The overall topic here is good DJs versus bad DJs. What do good DJs do and what do bad DJs do? And how can we kind of elevate ourselves as an industry? I'm really excited. And we're going to go around the horn and say a little bit about each other to make sure that you guys know that we are here to help you. So drop your comments, drop your questions in the chat. We can't wait to interact with you over the next hour. Once again, it's QSC's Play Out Loud at Home DJ discussion. So up first, Nate Nelson. What's up, man? How you doing? Tell us a little about yourself.
What's up, guys? My name's Nate Nelson. I am from Dallas, Texas. I'm here in my studio at LaForce Entertainment. We're a multi-op DJ company that specializes in weddings, corporate events, private parties, anything and everything that needs to have a good time. So.
And Nate, I mean, you really took to this live stream thing hard, man. I feel like you added another title to your DJ background now, man. You're being hired to do live streaming all over the country now.
Yeah, kind of. I'll be sharing some information here really soon on a project I'm going to be working on at the end of April. But been definitely jumping out there, been playing with a lot of new Black Magic toys and really just enjoying all things that now you can kind of create into a full-on production. Because as DJs and entertainers, we're always looking to plan the event, and now I get to plan it where you can watch it anywhere in the world, right in the palm of your hand or on a phone or screen or desktop, whatever you're watching from. Yeah.
That's great, Nate. Thank you so much. Jeff, what's up, baby? You have your show this week.
Yeah. I know. I miss Miami already. What's up, everybody? I'm JSG, Jersey boy. I work with the SC Event Group, DJ, MC, live streamer, tech geek, and I'm 5'3". Really, it's just all you gotta know.
What is your sign? Do you want to give us your sign?
Who's taller, Jeff or Jaymie? I want to know.
Jeff.
Yeah. I can't tell.
I'm only
with heels. She wins. With heels,
then I'm taller.
Right.
I'm only 5 foot tall, so you have 3 inches on me.
So
I'm a Capricorn, Dylan. In case you want to know.
I was wondering. So guys, over the last year, myself and Nate and Jeff, and then my partner Jordan, we all got together and QSC put us on. And we talk every week about different DJ topics and things that we can do to help elevate our industry, little tips and tricks that we use in our multi-op or solo op. And we're really excited because today Jordan's out gigging, and we're really happy about that. So his partner in crime, the glue that holds, the man behind the hair, and Jordan is put together by this beautiful young lady right here. So Jaymie, thank you so much for stepping in, because there's only one other person that can give us the Jordan Marshall perspective, and that's you. So thank you so much for joining us. Why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Wow, quite the intro. Thank you. So I'm a Puerto Rican Leo from Jersey. And right now I'm actually upstairs. Jordan is downstairs. Valentina. And we're doing a corporate event for Own Backup because it is apparently World Backup Day. So this company is kind of like a cloud. They back up all your internal tech stuff. So we're downstairs DJing for them. And this place is really cool. So I'm just kind of stepping in for Jordan while he's DJing, and then we'll switch.
Well, so I think what really needs to happen is, first of all, you are holding down on the guys panel. We have a girls and a guys panel every other week, and you're holding down, and you can throw down with the best of them. I mean, for our viewers at home, Jaymie for Explosive does everything from emceeing to DJing to enhancing. She runs our entire photo booth division. I mean, she really wears a lot of hats, and we're super excited and proud to have her a part of the Explosive team. So, we put this panel together knowing full well that there is ammunition, there is firepower between the three individuals on the screen here. And our hope is that we can talk and chat and cut it up of what makes great DJs versus some of our subpar competition, and really elevate everyone with the tips and tricks of the trade. So that's today's topic, guys. At a glance, what makes a good DJ? Let's answer that question. What makes a good DJ? Jeff, you have a thought first?
I mean, if you're asking what makes a good DJ from the client's perspective, I guess it would say for them, as long as you check off all the boxes for them, I guess, then to them, you're a good DJ. You know what I mean? It's a two-sided question. I mean, for our end, obviously it's like being able to encompass everything having to do with whatever the event is front to back, knowing what all the obstacles are going to be, being able to plan that stuff ahead of time, like all the what ifs, the maybes, coming up with the ideas, being able to execute, on a consistent basis. But from the client's end, I guess, it's very different from us. We might look at someone that we see in our industry and be like, I don't know, like, I don't understand why but if, a client sees something in someone that they, again, checks all the boxes for them, that's a good DJ to them,
So today's topic is all about what makes a good DJ. And I think what I'm hearing here is that it's going to take a lot of different perspectives, but really there is some overarching skills and traits and, mentalities of good DJs. Nate, what's your thought?
Man, I think it's, being a DJ, I think you can kind of define good DJs by, a plethora of things. But for me, like, I look at a good DJ as someone that's continually trying to get better, no matter what they are. They could be a fresh new DJ. I consider Jaymie a good DJ. She's just learning to do these things, but Jaymie understands that this is not just a job. This isn't just something to go and do and have fun and, get drunk and just party. Like, we take our job seriously. I think the people that do take it seriously, the people that are continuing to learn and to educate themselves, all those things, that can make a good DJ. Now, you may not be the best DJ. You may not be the best in one skill or another, but you can have multiple different, facets of what you do that make you a good DJ.
I think that's exactly right. And that's an amazing segue into what I'm hoping is Jaymie's response here. A good DJ has a lot of hats that they wear, and it's only become more relevant as we're coming out of the quarantine phase of our industry. And Jaymie, from your perspective, I mean, you started out as a party motivator, and then you became one of our lead coordinators at Explosive, and you picked up DJing pretty much as a hobby. What do you think makes a good DJ?
Well, it's so much more than just playing music. You really have to read the room, read the crowd, and be able to multitask. There's a lot going on. And the hardest part for me is, I've really only been DJing virtually. So when I have been doing things in person and there's people talking in your ear and I'm like, so I'm trying to mix at the same time, it can get a little overwhelming, but definitely being able to multitask is definitely very important.
So here's what I love. I love that we're coming up with little soft skills that make great DJs. Type in the comments about what you believe makes a good DJ. Let's switch the gear. And I want to know, because we know overarching what makes a good DJ. What do bad DJs do? Let's think about people you see on Facebook that, we don't mention any names, but like when you see them on Facebook and you're like, I don't know about something they're saying or something they're doing or that setup. Nate, what makes a bad DJ? What's a characteristic of a bad DJ?
Bad DJ to me is a DJ that's one-minded, thinks that they are the greatest, not willing to learn, not willing to take advice from people, always critiquing or putting other people down. Just being a bad human in general, to me, would be a bad DJ. And trying to be something that you're not, trying to do something that you can't do. Yes, it's okay. For me, like, I can't scratch. I'm learning to scratch. I'm trying to learn to scratch. And Twitch has been my platform to play and do those things. But the difference between that is I know I can't do it, and I'm not going to try to do that in situations and settings when I shouldn't, when other bad DJs may not understand, and they just, I don't know. And a bad DJ to me doesn't have the ear. I think you got to have an ear. You got to be able to hear what the hell is going on. If you can't hear that you sound like trash, you're a bad DJ.
if it sounds good to you and everyone else is questioning it, you're probably a bad DJ.
Yeah.
Jaymie, I mean, look, because you're such a dynamic coordinator, you see DJs from our company and from other companies. What, in your perspective, as a really great high-end event coordinator, what makes a bad DJ? What are things that you see?
People focusing on themselves, and I'm talking about when it's private event.
Yeah, Jeff's taking screenshots over here, so we're trying to pose.
Sorry, go ahead, go
like
ahead.
that really happens. Squirrel.
Go ahead, Jane.
Squirrel. But pew pew. So when a DJ is at a wedding or a mitzvah and they're tailoring the show around themselves, it's not about us. It's about whoever we're celebrating and really making sure that they're in the forefront and that they're comfortable, because not every guest is like us, which is outgoing and very extroverted and all that stuff. So I think, again, if you don't read the room correctly, you're a bad DJ.
Jeff. Well, before we get to Jeff, I see James checking in. Those who think money and only money is the only thing, that's a bad DJ. Guys, from my perspective, and Jeff, I want you to comment on this. From my perspective, the money is like kind of the outcome. It's the byproduct of being a great DJ. It's the byproduct. It's not why you do it. It happens to be the outcome in which you get. It's a byproduct. So if you're only thinking about money, I think you're right, James. I think you're absolutely right. Jeff, what do you think about what makes a bad DJ?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of what, you guys have said so far, I mean, really encompasses it, because this is a question we could literally spend a month on, talking about it. But like, I think all those things matter. Like, obviously, like, taking care of the room is super important. It's definitely not your show. There's times when it should be your show, and that's what makes a bad DJ think it's all about them, as opposed to like know when to like, when to ham it up, when to lay back, when to be inclusive, all that stuff too. I think, to me, like, a bad DJ is someone who just isn't seeing the whole event as it happens. Like, and that's how I learned. I learned from like guys, when I started DJing, I bounced around with other guys all the time. So I saw different personalities and I saw like how they did stuff, but also like learning, like they'd be like, yo, you have to watch, like, you got to know, like, I mean, it's weird as a DJ, but you got to know like what the wait staff's doing, what the bartender's doing, what the maitre d's doing,
Thanks.
what the parents are doing. Like,
that's that multitask.
Right. Who's looking at you with like what's going, like, you got to understand what expressions mean. And like, and it's weird as it is our job to like navigate a room. Like, you're steering it depending on what's going on. So, I mean, I think, it's tough to, I know bad DJs, like, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's inexperienced. I think if it's a fine line for me, because sometimes I see DJs that, you chalk it up to inexperience because they just don't notice. And then there are other DJs that, they, just whatever, like, their shit don't stink. So, they just feel it's this is their way, like, I would say a DJ that goes into a place and thinks that it's their house every time they go into a place, that's kind of like a big negative too. Like when they feel like, oh, like, I don't have to do whatever, like, those are all attributes, yeah, but you know what I mean? Like all that stuff, I think it kind of is like another big part of it.
Yeah, you could really lock it into like saying you're not a team player. Like what you say
Right.
is in the aspect of that you're not a team player. As the DJ or MC on any type of event, wedding, private event, corporate, whatever, you have to be a team player and you have to be communicating the entire time. Like Jaymie said, there's a lot going on. People are coming up to you, telling you things. Hey, can you make this announcement? Can you do that? Can you play this song? Like, you have to be able to handle those multitasking situations, but you also have to be able to communicate to your client, to the wait staff, to the photographer, to all the other people, because nothing is happening throughout that event if you are the only person with a microphone and the only person to direct the guest for the next experience throughout the event. So
right. Yeah, for 100%. And Nate, like, to jump on that too, like, I feel like, if you spend a lot of time, like, you said, like, there's things that are your strengths, things that are your weaknesses, stuff like that. Like, I know guys in the industry that they are so good. Like, they're not the best DJs at all. Like, 100%. I mean, they can put songs together. They're good at like knowing what to play, but they spend so much time on their strengths, like hand holding the client, like, being super connected to like the catering hall, like, like they'll see a waiter's coming in with a tray and there's a ready tray on their stand. They'll take it away. So, like, they'll pick up a napkin when grandma drops, all that stuff. They do so much like hand holding that, like that they, I think what makes a good DJ flips it is like, he's like, okay, I'm bad at this, but I know I'm good at this. So let me do like so much that. And
level the playing field.
Yeah. Right. You stack the deck so much in your favor. It's like those things that you fall short on. Like, people like, like it's not as whatever, but it's the people that like aren't open up to all that. Like, it'll accentuate your, the crappy stuff that you do.
And don't be afraid to use those strengths to cover up weaknesses in those situations. Like Jeff said, the client may not realize that you're not Tiesto mixing music and making it seamless from start to finish. Like, we all make mistakes in mixing the party. Like, they can't judge you off that. But if you are 100% open to all of their ideas and holding their hand, I hold everybody's hand as a client the entire time, because I know that if they're happy, then at the end of the day, they're really the only person that can review me. The other guests at the party can definitely spread word of mouth about referring back towards me, but that client is the one that paid for it. We are essentially what the client wants us to be. And all the things that happen, I'm going to plug something real quick, Dylan, since I know we may talk about DJ shows here shortly, but I'm speaking at the Marquee Show in June, and my seminar is called Between the Details. And in this seminar, I'm going to cover everything that happens between those special moments. So, in between a first dance and dinner and all these things, what am I doing in those moments? What am I doing to prep myself for the next segment of the night? What am I doing to prep the guests for the next segment of the night? Because if you just do a special moment, or you do an announcement or something like that, and you leave people hanging, and then you just start playing music again and stop talking, which I see a lot from MCs and DJs because they don't really know how to transition to different things, I'm going to tell you what I do in between to set those moments up, because I think that can take you to the next step. As far as, you may not be the best at this side of what we do as our job, but if you can really, really get good at something that's just customer service and hospitality, like, that's really what it is between those details that make me great in who I am and why people want to call me back, so yeah.
So what I'm hearing here, guys, is that, you're going to play to your strengths, and that's what makes you a good DJ. And creating the opportunities to cover up your weaknesses is what I heard is really what you're trying to say. I don't think that there's a good DJ out there who wouldn't admit that they have a weakness. And I think that level of confidence shows through as opposed to arrogance. And I think that's what we're saying here. DJ Josh C checks in, and he mentions that it's about the crowd. You're hired to do a service for a crowd. And when you consider the crowd, you're already better. If you consider that it's you versus the crowd, like you're playing for yourself, I think that makes a bad DJ, and you're right. So thanks for checking in, guys. Keep those comments rolling. It makes this conversation so much more fun. I'm so glad that you guys are all a part of it as we talk about what makes a good DJ versus a bad DJ. Now, I can tell you right now that I think what makes a good DJ is the ones who value their personal and professional growth. And they consider the opportunities of learning from other DJs. They don't have the level of arrogance that comes with the rock star status. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the opportunities that we have to elevate each other. And I think we should start with those trade shows that Nate had mentioned where he's speaking at them. Nate, myself, and Jeff have all spoken at these conventions, and Jaymie just got back from a really, really powerful one. So let's go around and talk about some of the things that you might learn or engage with at these trade shows, and then we'll talk about some of our favorites. So Jaymie, I would love for you to hit on the David Tutaro one, because that one's huge for the industry.
Super huge. So this was definitely more geared towards, planners and event designers. But obviously, I am, explosives lead coordinator. So it made perfect sense for me to be there. I actually attended 2 years ago in Bermuda. So it was interesting to see how this one was a little, more COVID friendly and everything like that. But definitely being able to, put your ego aside and sit down and learn from your peers or your mentors. You have to be able to learn and grow. If you're stuck in your own mindset that, oh, I'm the best and I don't need any improvement, you're only in your own way. But, it was definitely cool because each night he does throw an event, and I was the only one looking at the production, like, ooh, look at the line array speakers, and, oh, check out that video wall that's broken up into sections, and everyone's like, look at the flowers. But it was really cool. Yeah, and then obviously I'm attending a few more throughout the year that are more DJ based. And yeah, you just have to put your ego aside and just be open to learning new tips and tricks.
What was your favorite thing that you learned? So again, Jaymie is a DJ, she's an MC, she's a coordinator. She went to an all coordinator show where that might not have been on the radar for a lot of DJs. That show might not have been on the radar. And that's
I was definitely the only DJ there.
so she's already given herself a market here to be really, really transcendent to the people that she's connecting with. What was one of your favorite things that you learned there?
So one of the seminars was by this girl named Randy, and she developed a site. It's called bemerry.com, MERRI. and it is all about, floor plans, and it's all 3D and virtual, and she built it from scratch, and you can actually add your own venue in there. So, Orem's obviously not in there because she's, I believe she's Cali based. So I can go in and put in all the specs of Orem, and, down to what the wallpaper looks like and what the chandelier looks like. And it was very interactive. It was really, really cool. That was my personal favorite.
But now you're adding in a tool to your tool belt as a DJ. You're adding levels of service where, what is it going to look like? What is it going to feel like? What is it going to sound like? Well, now you have an option to do that. And that's just adding another trick to the tool belt, like Nate with his streaming and Jeff with his video production. You're adding another thing that you can now offer to your clients. Good DJs are adding services, not only staying with one.
Jeff, and Dylan, just before you jump on the next question, I mean, like for what Jaymie went to, like I try and go to a bunch of conferences that are connected to my industry, but not just the industry people. Because, like, just think of Jaymie as the only DJ there, having all those business cards of all those planners who book DJs. You know what I mean? You're thinking about talk about being like in the, I mean, it's strategically, it's amazing. That's like, I don't know, Nate, you remember like Wedding MBA before DJs ever went to stuff like that, and that's like 2,000 attendees, and there'd be like 10 DJs out of 2,000 people. Those are, I mean, just talk about being a good DJ, just to hear the other side of the fence. Even if you're just looking to hey, I want to do more high-end events, or I want to, get booked as a DJ, travel, why not put yourself inside there? I know, Jaymie, you do a planning, but I'm just thinking just on the other side of it, just for your DJ side of it. It's like those are great conferences to go to.
Absolutely.
Not just for the networking side of it too, but also to be able to put yourself in the other person's shoes, to be able to understand what that other person's going through, what their mindset is with their business. They have to be goal oriented some way as well, just like we are. So what is their goal? What are they looking for? Put yourself in their shoes and be able to lend a hand. I know another thing that can differentiate a bad DJ is someone that gets in, sets up, says they're done. They don't have to worry about anything else of the success of an event. If you see a florist running around trying to scramble to get things set so that the guests can come in the room, don't just stand there and watch them do that. Step in, help, be a good person. Be on the other side of that. The success of the event is not just on whether you play great music and you make good announcements. The success of the event is full circle as a team, which throws me back to teamwork. So,
no, that's right. Like, I really like that Jaymie, you're mentioning about this, completely. It's about 1 degree or 2 degrees off from being a DJ. But think about it, there are local catering clubs where like all the catering halls in your area get together and trade secrets, just like the DJs do. Why don't you get involved with those? That's what good DJs do. They're going to network 1 degree or 2 degrees away from their own nucleus so that they get that extra residual work. The caterers, the photographers, the videographers, the event coordinators, the decorators, the florists, dress shops. I mean, like, listen, if you're a lady DJ, get in with your wedding, the wedding dress places. I bet you that they find their wedding dress almost.
Jeff, you've never worn a wedding dress, have you?
I mean,
one time, this one time,
just that one.
There is a photo. I've seen
in the last few years. Maybe not.
Get in. Even if you're a dude, get in with the dress shops and go do a photo shoot in a dress. It's different. It's going to set you apart.
If we get a certain amount of likes or comments or shares, Brad, what would it take for us to get Jeff back in a wedding dress to do the cast?
I bet it wouldn't take a lot from Jeff.
I think he still has it.
He had no shirt on last week. I mean,
he's gonna be like, be right back.
Yeah, I've got my dress in the closet. Hold on, be right back.
Yeah.
So, guys, we're talking about what makes a good DJ versus a bad DJ. We want to know what you think. What makes a good DJ? What transcends the DJ talent? And what we're talking about right now is the education side, being available to be educated. And I think, first of all, we have to take ourselves down a notch and remember that we are not God's gift to the turntables. And there is
not God's gift to anything.
There's always something that we can improve on. And once you allow yourself to be impacted like that and go to these trade shows, you're opening up a whole world of possibilities. And that's how, I've gotten close with Jeff and Nate is through these trade shows. So let's talk about some of the ones that are coming up. Jeff, you had a huge part in the one in Las Vegas. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that trade show and what to expect in something like that?
Oh, the one that we used to do yeah. So, I mean, that one, so that was pretty interesting. We started with that one, I think we did 5 years in a row with that. And initially, my job to come out there. So like just for SCE, if anyone knows SCE Event Group, we're like social media whores. Like we have to, if we're going somewhere, if we don't shoot it, it never happens. So I fly out a lot to do conferences just to shoot media. And Jason, who owns SCE, was going out there to do there. So he's like, Jeff, just want you to follow me around, like the setting up, to do it. You know, we'll do like this whole behind the scenes. So it turned out we had so much great footage of it. He's like, yo, we have to put together this like end of show just recap and give it to them, see if they want to play it. You know, and just shooting him, I think I had something at like 1,200 video clips throughout 3 days. We stayed up all night, edited it, and
I remember that.
So then that turned into a thing for me. So for 5 years, like we ran that whole stuff, and that just spawned off of doing, you know, like as you do it, it's like it was a resume piece. I can just hand it out to other conferences to be it. But in the midst of that too, being that like I had kind of access to that, and even though I was shooting, I got to hear like everyone's stuff. And for me, like I picked up, you know, I've been doing it a while, but like I still pick up like very cool nuggets that, you know, sometimes people like, you know, like at the end of a conference, of their speech or their presentation, or sometimes like they'll start off with like, hey, or take a screenshot of this. Like I picked up so much stuff from that, just like learning, you know. And for me, like I like more of the actual like down and dirty, like what Nate's is going to be about, like, you know, practical, put to use. I love those kind of presentations. You know, so like I learned from that now and then, and from there, I'm speaking in April out in the Midwest, on media, you know, from that. And I also did that in Chicago, I think 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So like, so for me in 19, yeah. So it went from me to like, you know, like going there just to shoot our crew, to like shooting conferences, to speaking at conferences. But so like, and there's a lot you can learn. I mean, the negative for what you do when you're working at a conference is you really lose out on a lot of networking because you're always working. You know, you don't have time to like, you know, go chat with people after because you're always on it, but you do pick up a lot, you know what I mean, from the education side. So that's how my, like, I guess my whatever ascension into like the whole conference world started.
So I mean, you're speaking at, did you say Midwest DJs?
Yep.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you got going on for Midwest DJs, and then we'll roll over to Nate.
Yeah. So for that, like I'm basically opening up the book of like how and why and what I shoot, like everything before it goes to social media. Cause I think a lot of times people are talking at these conferences about social media, like, hey, what you need to do on Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff. But like, for me, I just thought there was like a kind of the missing link of like, you know, no one's talking about like all the stuff that you're putting out there. So for me, I want to like literally open up the book, how I do it, like all my tips and tricks. I have like a ton of like, you know, stuff that like hopefully people are like taking a lot of pictures of, like apps I use and processes and just like how you can take like a picture and use it 18 different ways. You know, so like me is like, it's shooting, capture, the hows and whys, working with the people around you, and then everything before it basically goes out into like social media world. So that's kind of what mine's going to be.
Yeah. So that's at Midwest DJs Live. And so now we're talking, guys, about this is the type of dynamic education that good DJs will engage with. And it has nothing to do with DJing from a fundamental perspective. All right. It has nothing. You didn't mention anything about music. You didn't mention anything about turntables. You didn't mention anything about speakers. And that's what we're talking about. Good DJs will open up their tool belt and put things in there like capturing video or creating that content. Nate, you got one coming up about the planning and the details side of things. Why don't you tell us where you're speaking and what we can expect from a conference like that?
So I will also be at Midwest DJs with Jeff. I'm not speaking at that one. I spoke there last year. I'm doing the actual live stream of the entire thing. So if you still want to jump on the fence and join us for Midwest DJs Live, you can do that virtually. The in-person tickets are sold out. But I will be speaking at Marquee in Chicago in June. And like I said, we'll be talking about Between the Details is the name of my seminar. It doesn't really have to do a lot with the pre-planning of an event because I think that the details are what the pre-planning is. I think knowing and understanding what my details are when I go into an event and being prepared for those things allows me to do the things that I'm going to be able to talk about between the details, which is holding the client's hand, doing the things that you can do, little simple things like as soon as the bride and groom, essentially the way we do things in Texas is you do grand entrance, first dance, the dad comes up and says a welcome, somebody blesses the food, and then the bride and groom sit down and they're served food from the staff, right? They're served food, but they typically don't have a drink. They've been off taking pictures at cocktail hour. They've been doing this. So I go straight to their table after I tell the guests, sit back, relax, enjoy your meal. I turn my mic off, put it in my pocket, and walk straight to the table where the bride and groom are sitting and say, hey guys, can I go grab y'all a drink? What's your, and it's something that I put in my planning forms is drink of choice, but they may not always have that. That's, if they were going to a bar, they'd ask for a drink of choice, but I'll ask them, can I grab you a drink? And if they're like, no, we got one, we're good. I don't stop there. I go to mom and dad's table and ask mom and dad, can I get you a drink? Then I go to bride's family first, groom's family second. Then sometimes I'll go ask the head table, best man, maid of honor, all the bridal party. You guys need drinks. I've literally been seen walking back to a table like my old server days because I was a bartender and a server all through college and different things. Like, 4 drinks in each hand, coming back, handing them off to people. And I don't have to do that. That's not in my job description. If I did that, it's an extra service that I've added. If I don't do it, people could still write me a 5-star review and say I'm the best DJ they've ever heard, whatever. But those are just little things that I've started to do within my performance of, it's not even a performance issue. It's a behind the scenes between those details kind of things. And, I got to give it to Jordan. If Jordan was here, he would be able to help me talk through this, like my seminar, because Jordan gave me the idea to do this seminar when he was here in Dallas. He went to a wedding with me. He's like, bro, I loved how you were like just always out there. I'm trying to do my best Jordan right now, except I got to move my hands more. But like he was just like,
should I throw my hair in a man?
Yeah. He was just Jordan, like so much. Yo, what's up, guys? It's Jordan Marshall from the Explosive Entertainment out here in Manalapan, New Jersey. I can't do it. I can't
Manalapan.
I know I say it wrong every damn time.
Manalapan. I like that. It sounds fancier.
Yeah, but it's not just that special thing. There's something that I'm doing constantly. Like from the moment guests walk in or I see my clients, they're always there taking pictures, getting pretty and things like that. I want to be as hospitable as I can be. A lot of times guests will ask me like about the venue and how long have I worked here and how long, because they think I'm so involved in the event that they think I work for the venue, which in turn, I'm just rolling into my trailer, loading my gear in, setting it up and doing that.
I'm the same way with a venue. Like I feel one of the things for me is I have to know where everything is. So if someone comes up to ask me, like I always, even like when I'll know where the tables are, like I look ahead of time because like if someone walks in, because you might look like a mate. Hey, where's table 4? I love to be able to tell them, oh, you guys are right there next to the, next to the parents' table. But I also want to know like, where coat check is, where the ladies' room is, where the men's room is,
and that's something that I've said in my intros before is where the bathrooms are. If you get into a venue where it's tricky, if you're leaving the ballroom and there's no like bathroom doors coming out of a ballroom and the bathrooms are down 3 hallways and you got to turn left five times, like I'm going to tell you that before I ever bring the bride and groom in. I want you to know the things that you need to know when you're in a venue. I want you to feel comfortable. I want you to feel at home. I want you to feel relaxed. And if you're stressing, where is the bathroom? Dude, I know it's stupid and simple, but yeah, go ahead.
What's that? In Jersey, like Clark's Landing in Point Pleasant, this venue. Yeah. The guy, they own 4 or 5 different places, and the owner has this thing. He won't put up a sign that says it's so funny, the restroom, and literally there's 2 doors. One goes into the kitchen, one goes into the bathroom. 80% of the people end up going in there to wash dishes as opposed to like going in to use the bathroom. It's like he just won't put a sign up. So it's the same thing, folks. I'm like, I always use the Jordan line. Hey, folks, just give you the lay of the land. Jordan always says that, the lay of the land. So I always love that line. So like I always let people know, hey, just let you know if you go. And I always say that if you go this way, you're washing dishes. If you go this way, it is the restrooms. But it's funny that you mentioned that because I like also knowing where things are.
You do sound like Jordan.
There's just so much that goes on. And, whether or not the client sees it, whether or not the guests see it, the other people, the venue sees it, the vendors see it. They see that you're doing the things in the background to ensure the success of the event. Like, I think that's what it's all about. If you're a good DJ, if you care about the overall success of the event, if you have zero to do with food, it doesn't matter to you. But if you're not checking with catering before you do your grand entrance and say you're going to walk out, all right, we're having food, and they're not ready, you make them look bad. And then now, it's a two-way street. It could be awkward, and then everybody's sitting there waiting for things. So that's just one little thing is you have to know in and out, how your timeline's supposed to flow. And you have to know who your people are. And if you don't know a vendor, if it's the first time a photographer's been there, maybe they're new to the industry, you don't know, and you're a veteran, like make them feel comfortable, make them feel welcome within the space. Like people will recognize those things and you will get more and more referrals from just being a nice person and communicating with everyone and, you know, making the team feel like a team. Be the team captain. You don't have to make it all about you, but be the team captain if you can be. If you can be a good leader and lead those people to a successful victory, which is sports terminology, but take it and go win the game. You know, it's all about winning the game. Right, Dylan? The Eagles aren't going to do a lot of that this year.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
At least
he said that so humbly. They are not.
They are not.
I don't know.
It pains him.
I don't know. I don't know what to do with my most recent Super Bowl championship. When the last time Dallas did it? Just curious.
Burn it.
Okay, see you, Nate. Goodbye. Anyway,
so Jaymie, have you had the opportunity to, like, while you guys are DJing, to like also be the planner for an event yet? Have you stepped into that where you guys have been able to kind of work both sides of the with like.
So I'm Jordan's right hand for everything. So all of his events, you know, I've been able to, you know, and if he needs to go to the bathroom or something, or if it's, you know, we always sell, you know, a true two-person team where it's a DJ and an MC, but sometimes people don't want that. They just want Jordan to kind of handle both. So I'll go and be his assistant. So, you know, I'll do the music while he's doing the intros and everything like that. But not yet for the most part, because I'm new on the DJ side and we haven't been in person all too much just yet, but I will get there. but kind of going back to just.
Yeah, good.
Go ahead. I was going to say, kind of going back to what Nate was talking about, you know, someone's always watching you. There's always eyes on you. And sometimes you don't even realize that mom and dad are watching you or someone else is watching you. One of my favorite reviews was a mom and dad for a bar mitzvah. And she had a big blurb just saying that, you know, she couldn't believe how much I was on everything to, you know, and it's different because I'm a woman, but like helping her daughter pull her dress up and tighten the bustle on the back. It might be a little weird for men to do that. So I kind of have a better.
That's one thing I don't do. I don't ask it. Can I help you bustle your dress? Like, nope. Sorry, so that's not in my.
It's so funny that's a thing that planners usually hate, but I love it. Like, to me, it's such an important moment for the bride or the mitzvah girl to get her dress bustled up. So I love being a part of that.
Yeah, no, I am a big person of like putting the tags in the dresses. Like, hell, your thing is sticking out. Like, I'll
the hanger string. The hanger string.
And on occasion, I've literally had to have grooms spit their gum in my mouth because I'm like, bro, you can't go do your.
Not in your mouth, in your hand. Please tell me you're in your hand.
Holy shit! That's like, you know what I meant. I mean, either mouth in my hand.
You're like a bird. Like, drop it. I got it.
Yep. Well, so those,
all right, clip that, somebody.
We're talking about what makes good DJs versus bad DJs, and what we're really coming back.
If you'll go above and beyond during COVID and let someone spit their gum in your mouth, you're a good DJ. Just gonna say that right now.
It could be.
I'm done.
Fucker out.
He's gonna put his wedding dress on.
I want to thank James for checking in again. He's talking about you know, how you can interact with the photographer and videographer ahead of time. That ahead of time stuff is going to pay off leaps and bounds during your event. I mean, you know, to go back to your sports analogy, I always like to think of the entertainment as the quarterback, because they're going to be able to call plays from the line better than anyone else. But you know, your bride and groom, they're going to be your head coach. They're creating the plan with you, but you have to go out there and execute it. The coach can't do it for you, right? And then all of the vendors are your wide receivers and your running backs and your linemen, and all the different people are there to help you score a touchdown. And if you're not all on the same page, someone's gonna miss the ball somewhere. And that's what James is saying here. So thank you for checking in. Ron, thanks for checking in from Canada. We love you guys. Thank you so much for checking in. We're talking about what makes good DJs and bad DJs. There's small details that you can do that make a big difference. Let's talk about from an MC perspective, because a lot of DJs who are also MCs, there are things that you can do. Like, I know that I do a lot of Jewish events where there's a hora. When they sit down, you know, I have my hand on the back of the chair, making sure that that's not falling forward where someone's going to fall out, or I'll whisper in, you know, the bat mitzvah girl's ear, like, listen, yo, cross your legs. Like, you don't want a wardrobe malfunction. So things like that make you so much better at your job, and has nothing to do with playing music or making announcements. So that's what we're talking about today, guys. Check in the chat. We mentioned a little bit about how the education that DJs are provided at these conferences is so massive. We talked about Midwest DJs Live. We talked about Marquee. We talked about Mobile Beat. There's a handful of others. So drop your favorite ones in the chat. Let us know what you've learned. We're here to help each other. We're here to elevate the industry, and that's our whole job. So fortunately, we have Jaymie on the call here, who is really laying in some of the groundwork for what it's like to wear all of those hats all at the same time. She's MC, she's DJ, she's coordinated all at the same time. And what I'd love to hear is some of the challenges that she faces when she's not wearing those hats. For example, I know that when I'm not wearing all those hats, I lose a little bit of control. So Jaymie, I'd love for you to talk about some of the things that frustrate you as a coordinator that we DJs can do better.
Making sure your setup is clean. Ghost your wires, have a nice clean facade. If the photographer stuff is all behind yours, have an extra facade in the truck. Your photographers will love you for that. And your couple or your family, your mitzvah family will thank you for that. And just be nice. It's funny, when I was just at the David Tutera thing, again, they were all, for the most part, planners. And a lot of them had such not nice things to say about DJs, because DJs think, we're the show and you're not the planner. I'm also the planner. Just play nice. There's no reason why we can't read over our timelines together and make sure that everything lines up. We should probably do this beforehand, but if you don't, before the event starts, just sit down and make sure that everything, lines up. And if something doesn't, you got to work through it, but there's no reason why we can't just all get along. And when we get along, the event goes better. It goes great. If there's tension in the air between vendors, the guests feel it, the couple feels it, the guest of honor feels it, and it shows in the pictures, and it just kind of shows everywhere, and we don't want that.
So what I'm saying, what you're saying is, hey, be nice and play nice in the sandbox. If you don't want to play nice in the sandbox, get out.
It's all about communicating, and you have to,
yes.
I heard this at a probably a DJ conference at Mobile Beat 5, 6, 7 years ago. I don't know. But somebody said, the planner is you have to look at wedding planners. They're not working 52, 62, 72 events a year. They're working 10, 15, 20, sometimes 30, depending on how much business they get and how much they want to work. Most planners I know will work 20 to 30 events a year, around that. And so their vision, their design, whether they referred you or whether the client hired you, there's a lot of different aspects that go into that relationship that you have with the planner, but you should be, number one, catering to that planner as well, holding her hand and making her job easier. She's already, and you have to know this and understand this as a DJ. And if you don't think that, and you just think you're the show and she's telling you what to do and all these things, if you don't understand what all they do, if a bride has a breakdown, that planner's got to be there helping them. If somebody doesn't show up on time, it's that planner's job to call and find out where they are. There's so many things that a planner is responsible for on the day of an event, that you should just do anything and everything to make their life easier. And don't come at it as, I can do this because I've been doing this forever. Come at it as, hey, is there anything I can help you with? I've seen this happen before. What if? Don't ever try to push something on someone. Ask them, what if? And then give your suggestion, because your suggestion may not be the best in what they want, but they may think of it now as, oh, he's trying to help. He's asking, would this be okay? And not trying to push something down my throat. So anytime I'm always communicating with the planner on an event, it's, I don't like where you guys had me set up. What if, don't say it that way. Don't say, I don't like where you had me set up, but hey, I was thinking, what if we moved this over here? Would that mess up anybody's plans? I think it may flow better, things like that, and just get their opinion on it, because then they might have a light bulb go off in their head and go, yo, maybe he's right. Let's do it this way, instead of forcing something and getting frustrated because body language shows through these things.
Yep,
be the wedding planner's best friend, and that wedding planner will call you and call you and call you for every event that you have.
Yep,
exactly.
I love working with coordinators. They become your best referral source. Talking about the lines of communication and the words that you use, I agree with Jaymie. I think that you got to show off you're happy. You're in an industry where happy is the marquee of the events you do. Unless you're DJing funerals, but that's a really good market segment. In which case, okay, do what you do. But what I see here is, the language that you're using, Nate. It's the have you considered this, as opposed to you should do this. Let them come up to that. That's, a form of psychological listening where they're coming up with the ideas instead of you telling them the ideas, and they're going to like it better for that. So I love that language. I think that that's really, really powerful. And I think that our viewers who are commenting here are agreeing. They're saying, I love working with planners. James checks in again and says, as they say in the military, it's one team in one fight. And
Jimmy G.
Let's keep on keeping on with that. So, Jeff, what are some of the things that you see that you can do to help out your planners?
I mean, I agree with what you said too. Like working with planners, like in terms of referrals, oh my God, like the amount of work we get from planners, just starting with that. For me, I would say 99% of my planners, they always hit me up like with emails ahead of time. So I try and get back to them as quick as I can, because I feel like they're in the same boat as us. Like they just want to get the answer, move on, get the answer, move on. So I'm like really quick to respond with them. I always send over whatever sheets I'm doing for like my wedding. I always send over to them, not the day of, ahead of time, so they have it going into it. And for me, like the first thing when I see a planner, I'm always checking them. Hey, how's your day? How's the couple doing? How's the family? Whoever it is, how they doing from there? And then just like I'll just quickly go over some stuff with them, and then I always tell them, whatever you need, just let me know. Just give me a heads up. Blah blah blah. For that too. I mean, I take a planner almost as like another person that I bought out to do the event, honestly, because I've had planners be like, oh, can you let the maitre d' know we got to squeeze in one more song it's like the bride song we got to do for dinner, like stuff like that, where I would send my DJ or my lighting guy like a million times. Like I think I have well enough rapport with them that like, I'm asking them to do stuff for me that like in favors. I mean, it's for the overall part of the wedding or the event, but for me, I just treat him as like another one of my crew. Like, that's the way I usually do it.
So on that same vein about helping out our vendors, we talked about having a spot for the camera people to put their bags, like that way it's out of the way, keeping your setup super clean so everyone loves it, and the photographer will appreciate that. Jaymie knows this because she's seen it. I have a tackle box that I call my oh shit kit. It's a fishing tackle box that I keep pretty much anything to run an event in there. Extra wires, but I also have things that are like outrageous. I have, Bluetooth speakers. I have a pair of drumsticks. I have a set of candles. I have key pods for, blessings. I have masks now, hand sanitizers, earplugs. I have sewing kits. I have deodorant.
It's a big tackle box.
I have toothbrushes. It's like probably about this big. I have something.
If you don't have an everything kit like that, you've got to build one. I have one as well. It's got every single cable, adapter, anything you would ever need. You never want to be somewhere and not have something, especially if you travel and you're driving and you can't buy it or purchase it. You got to have it with you.
Yeah, and even for the video guy, same thing with that. Like I have like my Apple store in there. So like if there's a videographer that comes in and they don't have the right wire to connect audio for me, like I always have that too. Yep. Even like that. And the sewing kit's great. Like I don't have one, but I did used to have one, and it definitely had saved me at one time or another, like for that.
I've sewn many dresses in my time, and the Tide sticks. I got wasabi out of a girl's white dress one time. She was doing pictures before cocktail hour, and she got wasabi all over her dress. And her parents were like, "Just forget it. I don't even care right now." And I was like, "I got it." But again, would you guys be hand up a dress and taking wasabi out? No, but I can.
And the number one thing that people use out of my oh shit kit is fishing line. Mm-hmm. Something fell off the wall from somewhere and they had to tie it up real fast, but they don't want to be seen. Fishing line. So my point is that you have a solution. You become a partner. You become an asset to all of the people who would have never considered you an asset. That's what good DJs do. So that was today's discussion. Like the topic was, what do good DJs do versus bad DJs? And we've kind of set a really nice line in the sand. What good DJs do is they realize they're not just DJs. And I think that's kind of the message that we're trying to send here. And I love the communication here on our comment feed. So thank you for everyone checking in. It's so great that you're here. So we have a little bit of time left, and I want to double back and kind of let our stars of these shows shine and let us know what they're up to, where we can catch them next, and what we could be looking forward to. So Jeff, you want to lead us off, or Nate, who wants to lead us off? Where can we find you? What do you have up your sleeve? Tell us a little bit about what you got going on over the next week or so.
So I have 2 events this weekend. Super pumped. Friday, I'm in Jersey doing a wedding, and then Saturday, I'm back at Saturday Night Live in like the opening DJ for the crowd and everything. So I'm super pumped about that. Like that's always just one of those cool whatever. You don't get to do that often kind of thing. So. And then Sunday, I don't know. I'm, probably be a degenerate
Sunday fun day
drinker somewhere.
And we can find you all things social at Jeff Scott Gould, right there. No, other side. There you go, right there. So I thank you so much, Jeff, for your expertise, your knowledge, your charisma, your energy, man. You rock. Nate, Nate, let's pass it off over to you. What do you got cooking for us? Where can we find you? What can we expect?
You can find me all things social at DJ Nate Nelson, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever else, YouTube, Twitch. Speaking of Twitch, tonight is the Hump Day Raid Train. It's something that I started back in December of 2020, and we're going on our almost fourth month, of the Hump Day Raid Train. So it happens every Wednesday night, starts at 5 o'clock Central and goes all the way to midnight. Features 7 different DJs from all across the country. We've had guys from all across the world on there. So it's really picking up steam. It's been a lot of fun. I'm at 8 p.m. Central tonight, but you can check my socials for the full lineup. Tonight we got a Dallas, Texas edition with just 2. We have 5 DJs that are on my team playing tonight, which is very rare. Usually it's just 2 of us a week. But I've got 5 of us playing tonight, so super stoked about that. I've got a wedding tomorrow, and then it's Easter, so I'm off this weekend hanging out with my kids and my wife. Might go camping, might go to the lake. It's getting warm here in Texas, so
Better than a month ago when it was like frozen over.
Oh, yeah. when I came to visit,
when Jaymie was here,
right.
It was a solid sheet of ice.
Yeah.
So Nate, I wanna shout you out. You tagged me in one of your streams and then dropped Ja Rule. I've been asking Nate for Ja Rule in his set for like 3 months now, and he finally dropped one, and I'm so happy for it. I don't know why I like Ja Rule as much.
I got you, bro. This is where I be streaming from, people, right here. So if you want to come check it out, the green screen. That's just a little playing with my toys. I've been wanting to play with my toys.
Yeah,
You're right.
I know. All right, that's fine, Nate. Thanks so much, dude. We'll check you out tonight. And last but not least, everyone seems to love you, Jaymie. I never thought anything different. They love you. Tons of knowledge. We cannot thank you enough for sitting in for Jordan today. Your knowledge and your energy, it's contagious, and we want to thank you for it. Jaymie, where can we find you, and what are you up to?
Which side? Right here. Okay. So you can find me on Instagram here, Jaymie_XE events. That's all stuff work. If you want to get to know me a little bit more on my personal, you can take out the XE events and just put my last name, Perez, Perez. I did start a Twitch channel as well. I have like 40 something followers. Hey. And it's just at Jaymie Perez, Jaymie Perez. No punctuation. None of that.
That's like the Mickey Mouse song. You got that thing down. It's Jaymie
Easy. You know what? Maybe you should.
I love it. Let's make a song for that.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
a lot of catching up to do since I was away last week, so I'll be playing catch up this week. But you can catch me at Marquee in Chicago. I'll be helping Casey running some stuff behind the scenes, and then obviously Jordan and Big Daddy are going to be hosting it, and we got Nate speaking, and it's a whole bunch of good stuff. So I'm excited, and I hope to catch you there.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It was a great week. I'm super, super psyched about it. So thank you so much for everyone tuning in. We do this thing every other Wednesday, and we on the off weeks that we're not on, we have an all-female DJ panel that's really, really great, chopping it up and taking your questions and comments. So we thank you so much for tuning in. We love you so much. So until we see you next time, for Nate Nelson, JSG, and Jaymie, on behalf of Jordan, my name is Dylan Weisman. Take care of yourselves and each other. Don't do the thing we wouldn't do. Wash your hands, and we will see you all in 2 weeks. This has been QSC's Play Out Loud. We'll catch you real soon. Goodbye.